morning, guys. I am about to get my results after doing carnivore for exactly 1 month today. And despite my results, I just want to say that this was 100% worth it. I don't really care what my body scan comes back as, even though I'm really interested to see. I no longer have dandruff anymore, which I can't believe. And I haven't had any acne since starting this journey. I haven't been on any topical treatments, no tretinoin, no any sort of thing that you put on your face, just so many other things that I could go into. So even though I'm a little nervous to see what the body scan is, to see if I did gain muscle during this time, that wasn't my main goal. So here we go. We're gonna find out. Welcome back to a new video. I have a special guest on this episode, which is my husband, because as you guys are probably waiting to hear, we both did the carnivore diet and we both want to share our results with you from doing this and just be really raw, really honest, kind of share the ups and downs. I'm going to be upfront. The ups of doing this really outweigh the downs. So we're just going to jump right into it. All right, so our first result that most of you guys probably want to know, which wasn't our main reason for doing this, but our muscle increased and our body fat decreased. So again, that wasn't our main goal in doing the carnivore diet. It just kind of happened naturally.
It's a good perk.
Yeah, we both did body scans before doing the carnivore diet. I did one 10 days into it, and then I did another one a month after, as well as Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I gained 2 pounds of lean muscle in 30 days, and my body fat percent went from 21% to 18%, which I know it sounds really drastic, but I just want to mention that the first week was really rough for me when my body was adapting into being in ketosis and eating carnivore. So I really lost my appetite. I know that sounds unhealthy, but I lost my appetite, because I was so satiated by like all the fat my body was eating that I hadn't consumed before, and I was eating a lot more protein. So for the first few days, I did track my calories because I wanted to make sure, number one, I was eating enough, and number two, I just wanted to see like where my body was gonna be going, and I roughly stayed the same weight. Like my weight didn't really fluctuate very much. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously the water weight that fluctuates no matter what you do.
You will lose water weight.
But yeah, I think our weight kind of generally stayed the same. For me, it was mainly just I lost a percentage of body fat and gained a pound of muscle. So that was really exciting.
Yeah.
Because I was basically a carnivore before, which was just peanut butter sandwiches all day, every day for life.
Yeah, he literally ate. He would eat like four pieces of bread. Four pieces of bread. He would have 2 peanut butter and honey sandwiches every day for work with an apple, carrots. Breakfast we would have oatmeal, protein oats. Snack was like Greek yogurt with a carb. Dinner was like pasta. Your typical bodybuilder diet where we're eating 40 to 50% carbs before,
or 70% carbs
or more, and like pretty much the rest was protein and sort of minimal fat. I did want to mention that my basal metabolic rate increased because I gained more muscle. So that just means I can eat more now because my body has more muscle, and muscle burns more calories, right?
It needs it to fuel itself.
Exactly. And so that's kind of a fun little perk. Not that I feel like I need to eat a ton more, but it's just a cool byproduct that happens.
Gives you some more grace.
Right.
For the weekend.
We don't live our life with that mentality. Garrett's just saying that. I also noticed, like looking at my body scan, I can't show this because it has personal information on it, but I've noticed my muscle imbalances like equaled out. So the first body scan that I did showed that my right arm was a lot bigger than my left arm. I am a right dominant person. And it also showed like a pretty big imbalance in my legs even.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely increased muscle in my legs. And I will tell you guys, I have noticed more definition in my legs, and I've noticed the back of my body, especially in my shoulders, looks more even to me than it did before. We do have progress photos. I'll show a few of them here, but we personally don't feel like we can share pictures of ourselves in underwear on the internet.
100%,
yeah. For some people they do that and they don't have conviction, but for us, we feel like our bodies showing that much of our body is not okay.
Keep it secret, keep it safe.
Yeah, for us. We're not gonna show too many progress pictures, but I can definitely put a little snapshot of the bottom of our in-body scans for you guys so you can see the actual information, because I think the scans speak for themselves. Yeah. We did it, well, I did my body scans at the same time for all of them, and I also was wearing the same outfit, so there wasn't much change in variable there. The other perks that we noticed from the carnivore / results is that we saw decreased dandruff. So I didn't really notice this until towards the end of the month, and we're still doing carnivore now, but I used to have a dandruff issue, and I just didn't really care too much about it until I just started like brushing my hair one day and realizing like, oh, it's not there anymore.
It's more voluminous.
Yeah, our hair like does look a lot shinier and just thicker and healthier.
Yeah, I got a compliment on my hair too.
Oh, did you really?
Getting a haircut. Yeah. I was like, wow, it's so thick and wholesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know, thank you.
He just got a haircut, and his hair definitely got a lot longer.
Nails and skin too. It's been really good. Just all the collagen and the meat that we're eating.
Yes, and that's the thing too, guys, is that we're not relying on supplements like we were before.
Or collagen.
Yeah, like before.
Get in your beef.
We would take protein. We would have protein oats, protein powder in our yogurt, protein powder in a smoothie. And I think we just relied on it a lot more than we really thought we were. Yeah. And then when we started actually getting our protein from whole meats, eggs, and now we're having...
We've been doing it for literally thousands of years.
Right. Now we're having raw yogurt is just what I was going to mention. It's been really amazing, and you feel so much better too once your body gets adapted into it.
Because your body is made of meat and fat. And so when you're feeding
protein and fat.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And when you're feeding it those two things, the body's getting what it needs, especially after a workout. Your body breaks apart as you're pushing against things, and being able to have the amino acids that are found primarily in meat. Rebuilding your muscles helps for faster recovery time, feeling better all around.
Yeah.
And and less prone to injury because you have all the essential nutrients to respond better to injuries and also to recover faster after a workout. So you don't injure yourself further. So it's a whole rounded approach. And
less soreness for sure. Yeah. I've noticed less soreness in my workouts. And that's the other thing too I want to mention is that I was not working out 5 days a week during this month. I maybe got in 5 workouts during this whole month. Like, I am not even lying when I say that, because the first week we did carnivore, I backed off of working out. I wanted my body to adapt and get used to eating like this before I start stressing my body. And then once I was more adapted to it, I was feeling like pretty good. I got sick and I was down for like 2 weeks.
Sinus infection is where it's at.
It was a bad sinus infection. And so it really goes to show, like, even just from doing minimal weight training, we still gained muscle eating this way. And then now for the main reason why I chose to do carnivore was for my skin ultimately. And I just want to show y'all right now, I did this in the last video, I don't have makeup on except for I do have mascara, I do have lipstick. I have no concealer on, no foundation, I don't have any of that stuff in my home. But yeah, still no cystic acne, not on any topical treatments, no tretinoin, no nothing. I'm just using moisturizer, essentially super basic moisturizer on my skin. It's just blown my mind, honestly. So I'm very interested when we do start reintroducing more foods to see what it was that was causing my acne to flare up, whether it was just like my gut was unhealthy and my gut needed just like a reset, or I'm intolerant to something like gluten or pasteurized dairy. I think going forward, what would you say? Like, how do you feel about going forward with this?
It's exciting. It's exciting to see what your body really responds to, and kind of moving away from the very processed, quick and easy life that our world has made food to be for us, instead of the fast food route and the highly processed things. Like going back to a more holistic, natural approach that all of our ancestors have been doing for thousands of years, up until 100 years ago. So, and just moving away from foods that cause inflammation, make you feel like horrible. It's just, it's exciting to have, like, you feel great every day.
And I also want to mention too, I just thought of this, I had my period while doing carnivore, and somebody is really,
let me get that real
somebody's
quick.
really excited to message us. That's okay, we don't need him for this part. This is just for you women out there. But my period was way less painful than my past periods. I've never been someone who's had a history of super painful periods. I've had kind of average periods, like I would have cramps here and there. I would just feel really fatigued, and I would break out during my periods. And this period, I had no breakouts, literally had no cramps. I'm not even kidding, zip. And zip, 0 cramps. And then what was the other thing? I was actually able to like work out like how I would normally work out, not on my period, and I felt like my energy was fairly good. I didn't feel like super depleted, and I'm someone who is a huge proponent of listening to your body. So when I feel like I'm pushing my body too hard or my body needs a rest, I take the rest. But I really felt like I could work out during this period, like how I normally do, and I think that says a lot as well. And then the last thing, super random, but I was never able to do like a regular pull-up before. I could do regular, what are these called? Like supinated grip pull-ups, where it's like a narrow grip, but I always had a hard time doing the wide grip pull-ups. So when we started carnivore, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna test this out. And I just started trying to do pull-ups, and I started with just doing 1 or 2 like the first week of doing carnivore, and now I get about 5 of them.
You're getting strong.
And again, like I said, I was doing very minimal training, just here and there when I felt like it. I was trying to see how many I could do.
Your body's getting what it needs to in order to perform better, and it's not having to scavenge through the highly processed foods that we're used to eating, or foods that don't have the nutrients that our body needs to perform.
Right.
So that's why you're continuing to grow in that.
It's exciting. And better sleep too.
Yeah.
I feel like I just keep thinking of more and more things, but really, guys, I mean, the only con I can think of is
the transition into
just the transition, which it lasts 3 days to maybe a week or so.
It's kind of like beginning to work out. You're like, yes, this is exciting. And the first like 2 workouts, you're just so sore. And you're like, oh, my body's dying. But it's just getting used to a new way of living, and ultimately you feel better. And when you go off of, it's like when you're not training anymore, you're like, I feel gross. I feel like mushy, you know? And then when you get back into it, you get really sore getting back into it. But ultimately that is way better for you than not working out at all. And also not going carnivore. And we're not saying like everybody needs to go carnivore. I just think, for us, in order to get to some like internal issues that we had, we didn't want to keep putting band-aids on things. We wanted to get to the root. We wanted to get to the bottom of it. And now I feel like we're kind of living in the fruit of this season, as weird as that sounds. It's learning like what your body responds to, because everybody has different needs and different abilities, and so you just continue to experiment with seeing what your body responds to. If it responds well, then stick with that. Same with working out too, you know, and then you just make those tiny little corrections as you're going forward, and being able to adapt, and that's how you grow.
That's good. And just lastly, to summarize, what we experienced was increased muscle mass, decreased body fat percent, no more dandruff, no more cystic acne for me, better sleep. I get deeper sleep now than I did before, and that could also be contributing to why I've been able to build muscle, because I've been sleeping better, and then just able to do more things in the gym than I could before.
Not being injured as much. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so again, just take this with a grain of salt, I guess. Look at the research. Yeah. In my last video that I did on carnivore, I linked a bunch of resources that I went to when I was trying to figure out if this was the right approach for us to take. And I think that if you have questions or doubts about it, I would look at those resources. I'll link some more below here too, but definitely check out that video. And if you have any questions, please message below in the comments. Or if you have experience as well, whether you are a guy or a girl, we would love to hear it because we're so new to this. Like, we didn't know what carnivore was until like 3 to 5 months ago or so. And never in a million years did we think we would try it, but we're so glad
We
you did. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.